4X strategy games have been on a downward trend in recent years. Some cite things like a lack of innovation, but the truth is that the bigger games tend to take up such a large amount of real estate that the smaller games may go with little to no notice for those who don't carry the same amount of weight behind their name. An upcoming game is looking to use its previous work surrounding a massive IP to promote their own original content. But what is this game? And should you be keeping an eye out for its release? Stay tuned for more. Developed and published by Proxy Studios, which is the same team that brought you the 4X game Warhammer 40k Gladius, comes Zephon, a similar game set in a unique world where you are surrounded by eldritch horrors and cyberpunk monstrosities, and it'll be up to you to lead your faction through a turbulent future and unexpected disasters. I'd say that the biggest obstacle to playing Zephon is the lack of a tutorial and understanding that should come with games that have systems that are so in-depth. I really feel like the game could have used a go-to scenario that has planned outcomes just to get you to understand some of the mechanics and wrap your head around what's going on, as otherwise it really feels like the devs just expect you to be an expert in their previous works or other 4X style games when you start the game up. It's not really a massive issue as I started to understand more as I continue to play, but it is worth noting that there is just a throw you into the deep end and hope for the best kind of feeling to it. The systems at your disposal are fairly vast as they allow you to win through diplomacy or good old-fashioned might, with the campaigns ending in total domination or peace with those who remain. The diplomacy, though, did leave a lot to be desired. When playing more recent games with diplomacy options, you can generally get to gauge those who you're speaking with by showing some sort of exchange process, where you can offset your downsides with money, food, or some other resource in order to get the deal that you want done. However, it feels like in Zephon, you just ask for what you want, and if you get it, then so does the faction you're trading with. It sort of took me back to my days of playing Civilization 3, where you just kind of hoped it would work. Although I don't really believe this type of game is really all that focused on diplomacy, as everywhere you see it advertised, the developers want to remind you that they built a unique combat system. After some thorough research though, I really couldn't find out exactly what it was that made their combat so unique. There are some aspects that I think make it stand out, like having unit morale affect combat effectiveness, and I don't doubt that there was a lot of effort put into the combat systems. I just couldn't get to the bottom of what exactly the developers did in order to make it their tagline on pretty much all their advertisements. In these types of games, you won't get very far without researching new technologies, and I did enjoy the system for doing this. As opposed to a traditional tech tree, you're given tiers of technology to research. You pick what you want to research, and after getting so many technologies unlocked, you unlock the next tier, giving you access to stronger options. There were 6 available during the demo, but apparently there's going to be up to 10 during the full game, and that's just staggering how many options there are. One thing I did notice during one of my playthroughs was the ability to choose what type of technology I wanted to pursue. You can toggle certain selections on and off, which allow you to pursue options like cybernetic or ethereal units to make the most of the resources that you're gathering. Getting to deploy these units allows you to focus on another highlight of the game, which is the art. I felt like I really enjoyed the art, although I don't really think I got to fully appreciate it, as when I zoomed into the map to get a closer look at certain units, I was unable to actually get to look at anything other than the angle I was provided. I could rotate the camera 90 degrees to either side, but it would automatically lock me back into the default position once I let go. The artwork used for the slides was also really neat, even if I was presented with the same events through every playthrough. I think that's just a side effect of the game being a demo, but I do hope that players will be able to experience a truly unique playthrough each time they boot up a campaign. Overall, I think Zephon does some things well, but it's lacking in other departments. I could spend all day talking about the pros and cons of the game, and I did end up enjoying more of the game as I kept playing, but the steep learning curve will likely be a deterrent for some looking for their next 4X strategy game. One thing I think helped draw people into their previous work was the tie-in to an already popular fanbase. With Warhammer 40k fans willing to spend hundreds of dollars on factions that don't even have their rules made even though they've been out for a long time, it just shows how dedicated their fans are to the lore and the desire to want more. But if you take away that draw from a massive fanbase and mix it with the news of an upcoming Civilization 7 release, I unfortunately think Zephon might just end up being swept under the rug when it releases later this year. But that'll be it for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, be kind to one another. I'd like to thank Relativity, Naughty Dog is King, Chaos, and Kamikolo for their support alongside all those who have subbed to the channel. I have one more demo diving to do before I do my celebratory 50th episode, so stick around for that later this month and I will see you soon.